Do you like explosions? How about ability spamming and nuking everything until your little heart's content? Well good, because we have a build that covers all of this. Hello my fellow weirdos, how are you today? With the recent solar rework, my dreams of becoming an ability spamming demolitions warfare gorilla have finally come true. See, while us titans and warlocks were busy snorting crayon shavings and doing whatever warlocks do, hunters were out here learning to make bombs with avocados, one of Savathun Thongs, and some scoring toes. You know, the kind of stuff that gets the drifter moist. So now they're blowing everything up, and it's glorious! I present to you the ability spam, dirty thong, donkey punch, grenade build. Yeah, that's the name we're going with. The first thing we need to talk about is the young Ahamkara spine. These are what makes this build so great. The perk is called Wish Dragon Teeth. Increased Tripmine grenade duration and blast radius. Ability damage grants Tripmine grenade energy. What this really means is that it gives our grenades fastball intrinsically, grants a 14% increase in damage, the duration goes from 10 to 30 seconds, has 50% more damage resistance, 100 HP of health, and grants 33% grenade energy back when causing any solar ability damage. But wait, there's more. It also removes the ability to damage ourselves with Tripmines. Yeah, all that from one exotic, and now you know why I love them so much. To make the most of young Ahamkaras, our goal is to abuse our abilities as much as possible through spamming, because even Ignition and the Tripmine itself grants grenade energy back. One surefire way of accomplishing this is through our Gambler's Dodge and the weighted throwing knife. When we dodge near enemies, it immediately recharges our melee. When we use the weighted knife, it causes enemies that are scorched to ignite, and if we get precision final blows with the weighted knife, it fully recharges our dodge. But we can take it much further through aspects and fragments. Knock 'em down is the first aspect, and it enhances our supers by providing damage resistance and more projectiles on the blade barrage. But we want it for the description at the bottom that reads, fully refunds our melee energy when getting kills with the knife while radiant. This pairs perfectly with the fragment Ember of Torches, which just so happens to be the first fragment on the list. It makes us and nearby allies radiant for 10 seconds by causing damage with a charged melee, so they consistently feed each other as long as we're getting throwing knife kills. The second aspect is Gunpowder Gamble. It creates an improvised explosive that can stick to enemies or be shot out of the air, and it charges up by getting kills with abilities or solar weapons. We'll know when it's ready because it has a little meter on the bottom left that looks just like the Vex Mythic class meter. The reason behind choosing this one is the guaranteed ignition it causes, and the crazy amounts of damage when it explodes because, don't forget, ignitions count as ability damage to help recharge our grenades while wearing the Ahamkara spine. But once again, we can take this a step further by pairing it with the fragment Ember of Blistering. This fragment grants us grenade energy when getting ignition kills, and I promise you, this improvised explosive is like having a baby nuke in your pocket, so we'll always get kills and grenade energy back. This leaves us with one fragment slot available. I went with Ember of Singeing because I don't have the greatest stats on my hunter when it comes to the dodge, or any stat for that matter. Plus, I play solo most of the time. This fragment grants us a 50% bump to our class ability regeneration for roughly 5 seconds, immediately after scorching a target. It goes hand in hand with the grenade itself because anything we damage or kill with the Tripmine scorches them at the same time. The more class ability energy we have, the more knives we get to throw, which gives us more Tripmines. If you are a team player, I would recommend the fragment Ember of Benevolence. This fragment finally got re-enabled and it gives us a 200% increase to our base recharge rate on abilities for 6 seconds after giving our teammates Cure, Radiant, or Restoration. In our case, that would be Radiant from damaging enemies with our throwing knife and Ember of Torches. The main focus of this build is the Tripmines and the Ahamkara gauntlets, but one of the biggest benefits of using this setup is the freedom to play around with the mods and weapons as we see fit. I went with a hybrid Charge Light Elemental Well build because I wanted to make sure we always had grenade energy on tap either by the 10% ability energy we get back from picking up wells or the mods themselves. The mods are Explosive Wellmaker and Elemental Ordnance to drop solar wells from the improvised explosive and or grenade kills. Elemental Charge to gain 2 stacks of Charge Light when picking up those wells. And Firepower twice for a 30% bump in grenade energy when using our grenade. Firepower only gives 15% per copy of the mod we have equipped, which is why I stacked it twice, but you can replace one copy with Well of Life for some extra survivability if you don't need the extra grenade energy. Like I mentioned a moment ago, This build gives us so much freedom in the weapon and champion department, so I leave this part up to you. But do keep in mind that solar weapons will only help this build because they charge our improvised explosive faster. The whole build is just using our knives, grenades, and improvised explosives. Everything else will come naturally. But a few things that I found to help this build along when it comes to bosses is throwing a Tripmine first to damage them, recharge a portion of our grenade, and apply Scorch. Once the boss has Scorch attached, throw a weighted knife to proc ignition, which should recharge most of our grenade energy and improvised explosive. Just rinse and repeat with dodge thrown in the mix when needed for melee energy. It's simple, self-contained without needing any outside help from weapons or special mods, and yet extremely powerful, but more importantly, it's fun. And that's what really matters at the end of the day. If you found this video helpful, a like would be awesome. Be true to yourself, and please be good to one another, and have a fantastic day. Thank you!
And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude, crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently, thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this